Hu Taozi looked at the brush in his hand and felt the soft hairs. They tickled. "Soak your brush," said the stern old monk who was his teacher. Taozi lowered it into a little saucer of water. He held his breath. "Grind your ink," ordered the monk. Taozi had not paid attention when their teacher showed them how. Now he watched the other children and copied as best as he could. They put a few drops of water on a flat stone and rubbed their ink pebbles one way, then the other. Black tears appeared between the stones. "Sit up straight," urged the monk. Taozi sat up. "Hold your brush in line with your nose," said the monk. Taozi stretched his neck so that his head floated like the moon above his brush. Then he looked straight down his nose. "Press gently," said their teacher, as he showed the class how to draw a smooth stroke from left to right, making a glittering number 1 in Chinese on an old tortoise shell. "Calligraphy is the highest of the arts," he continued, slowly writing more numbers in beautiful strokes. "It reveals your character. Do it well and you will bring great honor to your family." At the tip of Taozi's brush a couple of worms crawled out. The boy gasped. "What's that?" asked the monk. "Worms," said Taozi. "Worms?" Silence. "Your worms are beautiful, but you must learn your characters." So Taozi tried again. This time blades of grass came from his brush. The other children giggled. "You must try harder," said the monk. Concentration folded Taozi's body into a tight little fan. Then with a flick of his wrist, a straight line dropped out like a back of a rope, then curved, then straightened, and fell into a hem. "I love calligraphy," he cried. "That's not calligraphy," the monk sighed. Each day something new and surprising dripped out of Taozi's brush. His straight lines splintered into trees, his hooks caught fish, his dots burst into eyes, then pigs and monkeys. From a stroke a horse tail flew by. The boy drew on walls everywhere at temples, tea houses, and silk bazaar. He even drew on a big wall surrounding the city. Dancing ponies, flying Buddhas sewn into the sky, clouds stitched around them. All who saw were amazed. "Exquisite," said a lady in a sedan chair. "It's a gift," said a nun, bowing low. "He has flying sleeves," said a boy with a kite. Indeed, Taozi painted so fast that his sleeves looked like wings spread in flight. Admirers began to leave coins for the painter. They now called flying sleeves, bowls of rice, fruits, even a chicken. Taozi ran to the monastery with their gifts to feed the poor. The monks were very pleased. Every day Taozi painted to his heart's content. With one eye wide open, the other in a dream, he painted so much that he knew not whether the sun was up or down, or whether he was standing or sitting. Seasons passed. The more Taozi painted, the better he got, until one day he painted a butterfly so exquisite and delicate that he couldn't take his eyes off it. The longer he admired it, the more real it looked. Then a wing moved, just a little, when the wind blew. "What?" said Taozi. He leaned closer. Suddenly the butterfly rose and floated away, like burnt paper above a fire. Aya, the painter exclaimed. I must have only imagined I painted it. Then in fact a real butterfly had landed there. Quickly Tao painted another. This time it was a real a butterfly he knew by name, the majestic leopard lacewing. Its wings glistened in the afternoon light. The boy blinked, the butterfly winked. Before Tao could cup his hand around his beautiful creation, he soared away. Come back, he shouted. You belong in my painting, but butterflies don't listen. Quickly Tao painted a camel and ran to tell the monks. When they returned, it too was gone. My painted camels are so real they can walk away, cried Tao. The monks shook their heads. It is better to paint than to boast, said one. That day no one left rice or money for Tao. The great city wall was bare, though people could hear his brush slapping and sweeping against the bricks. Tao's birds fluttered away, his horse galloped into the mountains, even his carriages rode down the street and straight out of town. All that he painted disappeared. Tao wept. His admirers all vanished, all except the children. His pigeons landed on my head, one better child cried. I can chirp along with his crickets, marveled another. Chirp, chirp. The children followed Tao everywhere. Tattered and shoeless, they formed a hedge around their friend. As long as he painted, they forgot their hunger. Years passed, the crowds grew, the children brought their own children to marvel at Tao's work. Inside the central gate of temple, a renewed virtue, people came rushing in when he painted the halo on the Buddha. They gasped when his brush swept with the force of brilliance of a comet. In the inner hall, Tao painted 5 dragons, whose steely armor moved in flight. In temples throughout the city, waterfalls spilled from his imagined mountainsides. Ah, someone cried, this man is no ordinary painter. He holds the brush of gold. One day, the emperor himself came. Upon seeing 5 dragons, he drew his sword. At the peonies he bent and sniffed. From gushing water he drank. Master Wu, the emperor finally said, I shall give you an entire wall of palace on which to paint a grand masterpiece. No one may see it until you are done. It was the greatest honor Tao could imagine. He bowed deeply. But a masterpiece takes many years to create. By the time the mural was finished, the great artist had grown old. At last the royal unveiling ceremony began. An orchestra of 700 instruments played. When the drapery was pulled away, mountains pierced holes into the sky. Bamboos swayed, birds flew, horses galloped in the distance. There were 9,999 things to behold. The painting was as brilliant as a fresh fallen snow. The crowd fell silent, the emperor bowed, the moon wept. Drenched in the moon's silver tears, the master painter added a shimmering archway and cried out in a loud voice, It is paradise, follow me. And before anyone could move, the man with the brush of the gods walked straight into his painting and disappeared.